To develop a winning mindset for your success in your life, you don't have to be a professional athlete, a CEO of a major company, a top elected official, a phenomenal public speaker, or even a YouTube star with millions of subscribers. With me today is Troy Heiner. How you doing today, Troy?
Doing great, Steven. How are you?
Pretty good. Breathing the smoke up here in North America towards the Canadian border. So if I cough, that's what's going on. It's not too hazy outside, but just be forewarned on it. We should be okay. Hey, so I hear that you've developed a unique set of skills and life experiences over the years that can offer people a deeper look into how they can develop a winning mindset for their success.
Yeah. I spent 37 years in my career in the federal government. And while I was working for the federal government, I worked for 3 different agencies. I changed careers a lot. And in the last 5 years of my career, I was a career change expert. But the thing was, secret, there was no such thing as being a career change expert in my agency. It was a role that didn't exist. I created it for myself.
Wow.
And in that role, I helped others. So I simultaneously ran a mid-career development program for technical experts who wanted to become technical leaders. And I also ran a summer internship programs for college students who were looking to get that first government job to get their foot in the door and make a career out of working for the government, hopefully in cybersecurity mostly. And I also ran a mid-career focus group for people who joined the government in the middle of their careers and were, experienced system engineers, but didn't know how to do system engineering for the government or didn't know how to do project management for the government. So in all these 3 things that I was doing simultaneously, I came up with lots of different things that worked and didn't work for navigating this really minefield of being in the middle of your career where you feel like if you make the wrong step, if you back the wrong project, if you do the wrong thing, you could stagnate, right? You can be a terminal 13, as we would call it, right? You're not getting another promotion.
Wow.
So once I retired from the government, I decided, doing multiple things at the same time is just kind of my thing. So I'm writing a book and I'm developing a coaching program to help fellow mid-career mavericks like myself make that major move forward in their professional lives.
Nothing like being busy.
Yep. So I'd rather be busy than bored. So that's how I've been keeping myself busy ever since I retired. And like I said, I've come up with lots of different things. I've tried a lot of things, and I've distilled all of my experience down to the things that can really help people.
That's great. That is absolutely great. Hey, I want to notify everybody too. Our goal, both Troy's and mine, is to help you develop the confidence, the clarity, and the commitment, and eventually the competence to take the steps needed to make your own quick wins in whatever you do by adapting and utilizing a winning mindset. This is why we have Troy in here today. We've been talking about this actually for 5 minutes. No, maybe it's been 5 months. It's been a while in the making.
It's been a while.
Yeah, forgive us for our procrastinatics. We'll have another video on that one coming up. So Troy and I have got quite a few podcasts coming up in the future, but this is our first one here. So, hey, also, before we go any farther into this, make sure to listen for specific examples we're going to give you on a variety of different situations that definitely can help you create and gain a deeper insight into what a winning mindset is and how you can use it. And also make sure to type in the chat. I'm trying to watch that the best I can as it pops up. I'll see it. And if you have a question, we will definitely try to answer it. But please try to keep it specific to what we're talking about. Let's try to stay on track. We want to finish sometime before midnight tonight. I know there's the basketball championship. That will be done before that. Oh,
so I got a question for you.
Oh, sure. I thought of a good analogy I want to get into too.
Yeah. So I noticed there's a bunch of trophies and medals behind you there. Ooh, yeah. How did you get those?
Well, these 2, where am I here? These 2 are for golf. Those were championship 2 years in a row. And we won the member golf outing at our club. And to win that, there's some other crystal behind me. I'll have to scooch over. You can see it, the crystal here. Oh, there it is. And there's a whole bunch up that you can't see. I had a dream of getting my cue card once, which means becoming a pro golfer. Not a huge, tall stature type guy, which doesn't help, but I was getting decent. And I got within, let's say probably 8 strokes of going, and that was about as good as I can get. So I thought, that's it. I'm not going to get it. But I tried really hard. I practiced. I hit 1,000 golf balls a day, nonstop. Went to golf schools, took lessons from Jim Flick personally. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Went to the Dave Pell Short Game School. I spent a lot of time and energy on it. The Taekwondo, I had a great grandmaster, Ryan Andrzejczyk, here up in Ohio, who's an amazing martial artist. He took me under his wing, under his foot, around as he had to, and had his teachers kick me around. But I trained really, really hard. I won 7 national championships under his guidance. So it was pretty strong for me. And I did it after the age of 45 years old. So I wasn't a little kid when I did it. A lot of kids win tons of trophies. I never won a trophy, but I got lots of medals. So that was my Taekwondo thing. And I'm retired
Awesome.
from those. Yeah, I stopped playing golf at the top. It's better equipment in your head than behind. And
going out on top is the way to do it.
Yeah, I had a winning mindset, and I won. And people say, "Well, you quit." Yeah, it's things just happen that way. I mean, it's just reached my goal. My goal was to win the trophies. I got them, and I was happy.
Yeah, and the going out on top thing too. I mean, I neglected to say that in my introduction. For me, the winning mindset is to help other people win. If I'm helping other people win, then I win. Yeah. And so that's kind of how I approached the latter part of my career. That was my focus, was helping other people be successful, and that just automatically meant I was successful.
Yeah, that's with me teaching public speaking. It's when a student gets up there and just rocks it. It's just like, oh yes, and even if they don't, it's still yes, they finished.
Yeah,
and even if they totally
they had the courage to get up there and do it.
Okay, well, we got a little more work to do on that one, but yes, they did it. They had to go. Because I've had students that refused to go. I've had people drop the class because of nerves, but some people, that happens. Hey, speaking of nerves, let me tell you about this good analogy that I thought of, and then let's get more into our topic tonight too.
Right.
So a good analogy for a winning mindset. Think about the basketball season that's going on right now. To get to the championship games, each team has to play one game at a time. And of course, they have to win enough games throughout the season to even make the playoffs. And it's a pretty slow process that takes time. And it constantly challenges the individual players. It challenges their confidence. Every single time they step on that court, I don't care how good they are. They know that if their confidence is bad, it's not good. I mean, in their heads, these guys are pros. They probably have beside their ice baths, they have psychologists there talking to them and saying, you have the confidence, you know what to do, all that fun stuff. But the other thing is, each player has to have clarity in the role of what they need to do during that game. Now, you could say, well, they're just natural. Yeah, but that means they have clarity. They don't have to pre-think it. There's no effort. They just show up, they do what they got to do, and they make it look good. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. They also have to have commitment to put every single ounce of energy into every game if they want to win, right? Now, here's the problem. Even though a pro athlete is totally prepared, they're totally natural, they're totally committed, they have the courage to step out there, they have the confidence, they have the capability, they can score the most amount of points ever, and the team still doesn't win. That's life. It just happens. Yep. So if you're on a team going through this as an individual, put your all into it. Do what you can do and what you have to do. The rest of it is just, well, it's luck. That's what I liked about golf. Now, these 2 trophies I got, where are they? I can never find them here. These 2 were about 4 players. The A player, I was the B player. I was a 14 handicap or something like that. I was shooting well out of my league. Let's just say I was shooting amazing. And the A player was shooting way amazing. And the C and D player, they were shooting way amazing. So all 4 cylinders literally were hitting, and we won. And to do it 2 years in a row is pretty amazing. The odds of that are really, really low. So let's get into commitment, because Troy and I are committed to get you out of here tonight in a reasonable amount of time. Right. Troy and I, we can go on for a while, so we're going to try to stay very specific. So Troy, tell us about commitment.
Sure. So commitment is, if you just want to simply break it down to a very simple concept, it's saying to yourself, I want to do it. So it has to be something that you really want, and you have to be really clear on what it is that you're committing to. And you have to be able to clearly define that not only to yourself, but to other people, because people will challenge your commitment. Mm-hmm. People will ask you, are you sure? You have to be sure. So if you don't have the commitment to develop the clarity you need to set appropriate goals, you won't move forward. So there is a downside to the whole goal setting process. Goals are inherently good, because they give life purpose and meaning, and that's really what my coaching program is all about, is finding purpose. Mm-hmm. But you could, in the process, overcommit or undercommit, and both are just as bad. Yeah. So you did it right if the goal that you set for yourself makes you just a little bit anxious, but excited at the same time at the possibility of, if you're successful, what kind of doors that opens up for you. So let me say that one again, right? So you did it right if it makes you anxious and excited simultaneously because of the pathways and the doorways it will open up to you if you're successful.
Interesting. Does it do anything else? There's a
screen. right. So the commitment creates the courage to, like I said, people will challenge your commitment, or just life in general will challenge your commitment. Things will happen, right? Just as you're getting ready to launch your coaching program, your computer could die and you got to buy a new computer. Well, that's what I had to do this week, and that was no fun.
Mac went out. Yeah, I know a guy.
I'm going live. Yeah. I'm going live Monday. No, wait, I'm not, because I don't have anything to go live on. It's just natural. It just always happens, right? The bigger commitment you make, the larger the obstacle will rise up in your path. Just the challenge to make sure, do you really want this? Mm-hmm. It's going to test your courage. Yeah. And so Steve and I were talking about the word courage, right? Because it's like, courage, is that the right word to talk about?
Yeah,
it is, because, it's the will to do it. I will do it, right? Absolutely. But other people refer to, maybe more comfortable with the term grit or resilience. That gets talked about a lot in management books and leadership books. Because that's what it takes. That is the mindset that you need to be successful. Is you have to have grit, you have to have resilience, you have to have a plan, for a backup plan for the plan, because the plan never survives first contact with the enemy.
Speaking about surviving the first contact with the enemy, let's talk about hand grenades.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Quick. Let's talk about hand grenades.
Yeah. So Dan Sullivan wrote the book, The 4 C's Formula, that we are kind of piggybacking off of too. We've got our own take on this too. But I've thrown a live hand grenade. Okay, I went through boot camp. When they give you a hand grenade, I didn't want to put it on air because I don't want the censors to say, "Oh my God, he's never a real hand grenade." No, it's inert. It's just
never been downrange.
Yeah, you don't want to be uprange or downrange. Trust me. So Dan Sullivan talks about he had to throw 2 hand grenades. I only had to throw 1. So you're doing the practice and they show you how to do it. You're like, oh, I feel like the World War I trench guy, like in the movies. You're like, everybody's 18, 19, 20-year-old guys. Man, we're macho. And you get that grenade and you're like, what do I do? And then you can't move. I mean, it's just everybody's sitting in the bunker. You could barely see through the the glass they had. But when you're out there alone and the drill's there, pulling pin, you're like, oh my God. it's the queasiest feeling you ever had. And then, throw a grenade, throw the grenade. Grenade goes, boom. You get grabbed up by your helmet. Well, I can't swear on the show, but the drill sergeant basically is like, do you know how far that went? 40 yards. It went 10 feet. It felt like it went a mile, but no. So again, I had the commitment to throw the grenade. That's why I wanted to do stuff like that. I mean, it was the cool stuff, but the courage to do it, I had the courage to do it, but then all of a sudden I go to do it and it didn't happen like I thought it did. Because that happens in life. It's again, teaching public speaking. Let's talk about this for a bit. I have students that are committed to getting an A in my class. And hey, sign up for my class, by the way, at my university. I'm not going to put a link in it because they get the money, I don't. But if you were to take my class, that will eventually be on my Teachable course, the way I teach is I teach you all these things of how to be successful at delivering a speech. Because I have you practice it. I have you build it. We reverse engineer it. And then depending what level you're going for, if it's a simple, I'm just going for a grade, or it's going in front of Troy and Troy's got his 12 other buddies that are all going to fire you if you screw it up. So again, there's different levels. Some people are extremely nervous. And I mean, when I say nervous, they want to drop the class. And they come up to me and they go, Professor Walters, I can't do the speech. I'm terrified to speak in front of people. And I walk them through all the psychological stuff, and I put them through these exercises, and it works. And they get up there, and yeah, they're shaking, and the sweat's coming down, and their voice cracks, and their hands are going every which way from Sunday, and they're reading, and oh my God, how'd I do? Like, it was okay.
You didn't die.
You didn't die. Hey, I never had anybody die in my class. Of all the students, I swear to God, nobody's ever died. I have had one person pass out. I've had a couple weebly wobblies where I kind of was out of my chair, like, okay, breathe. Okay, take a sit down now. But nobody's ever died on me. So I would say, don't be the first. So you can't do that. All right, so let's move on from courage. So courage, and again, it's here. Speaking of the courage, so fear and courage. You need to find a way when you're afraid of something. Like, I'm not afraid of spiders, but if you put one near me, I am afraid of it. I had a student, she has tarantulas, she raises them. I said, you bring one in class, I don't care if its name is Fred, it's going to die, or I am, because Fred is not allowed in my class. Okay. You can eat crumbly crumbs in my class, even though it's not allowed, but don't bring a spider. So, and the other people are like, ew, yeah, no. And some people are like, yeah. The courage to hold that spider, I don't have, because I don't want to hold it. So that's not something I'm willing to do. I don't have the capability to do that. Okay. So, and that's the next topic that we want to talk about. So, Troy, tell us about capability.
Okay. So capability means that you did it, right? This is something that you actually have accomplished. You have evidence of your success. So capability and competence are very closely related. Capability is something that you have demonstrated that you can perform, and then competence is kind of the value that you or somebody else gives in terms of how well you actually did it, right? So, you may have held a spider, but you didn't, make it your friend or whatever. So, hey, we got some comments here in the group. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no questions, but I'm seeing some comments at least. So,
well, Iggy is the guy, by the way. Hey, quick shout out for This Bites for You. So Iggy is the computer guy. Now, he doesn't do Mac. I don't think you do Mac, Iggy, right? But he helped me build the computer we're on right now. And I got to tell you what, Iggy did a heck of a job for me. Even though he didn't do it, he walked me through it and gave me all the stuff. So it was just great. So thanks, Iggy, for stopping in. And Daniel Batal was in too, by the way, the general. So I feel very, very blessed by his visit. And Shane Mack. Shane was I was co-instructors with his older brother. I always think of Shane was the older brother. He's the younger brother. Now he's the bigger brother. So Shane's in there too. Yep. So these guys are great.
So one of the things we need to talk about with capability is, you may have the commitment and the courage to want to throw a hand grenade or throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, but you may not have the capability.
I don't have the capability. I can maybe throw this at 40 and probably not throw my shoulder out. If I go up to 50, I'll probably end up in the hospital. So
one of the things that I taught in my career development program was you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you're trying to learn something new. And there may be some things that you don't actually even have the time to learn. And there may be some capabilities that you don't need to learn because somebody else on your team is already an expert. You leverage them, right? Mm-hmm. So if there's something that you're trying to do that's new, you either learn it or you find an ally or teammate or somebody who's already mastered that capability, and you collaborate with them. And that helps you grow your professional network, which actually, over my long 37-year career, I didn't value my professional network enough until the very end. I didn't build it from day one because I moved to different agencies and I left all my friends behind whenever I took a new job, right? I didn't keep in contact with those folks. Always figure out who can help you in different situations and have different skill sets, different capabilities than you do, because you never know when the opportunity to help each other is going to come along.
Absolutely. Yeah. I go back. Let's go back to the 1980s, last century, before the dinosaurs turned to oil, as I joke with my students. I was in sales and I helped teach Dale Carnegie courses. And we learned so much about people, not just sales, but people. And, you could go into YouTube, you Google it. There's 100,000 people that are trying to tell you how to sell things. You're not doing it right. You got to do it this way, do it that way, do it that. As you know, and I know, the funnel, the hackers are a big thing that we've both gone through that. It's pretty intense. There's so many different ways to do this. There's digital, there's face-to-face. I was at one of my former students, his graduation party. This is one of the only students, by the way, out of over 1,200 students that invited me to a graduation party. So Leo, thank you. It was a great party. Leo's going places. He's one of my top students. I can brag about him a long time. We've had so many conversations after class. But to meet his family and friends of his and the networking that he's doing is spectacular. I mean, he's just, it's amazing where he's going to go. So networking is big. One of the big things we were taught is for every person that you shake hands with, you get 5 references. To make it worse, our sales managers were, you must come back to the office with 5 references or don't come back to the office. You stay out there and get them. So, and I was really good. I was pretty cocky when I was a kid. I was an A+ personality type. I was afraid of nothing. The billboard, those giant billboards that says, we shoot every 10th salesperson and the 9th just left. I thought, sweet, man, I'm going in there. And they would buy from me. They're like, this kid's got,
Moxie.
Moxie.
Yeah.
I got a pair of these.
Brass baseballs.
Yeah, I like to keep it kid friendly. So
yeah.
It was pretty funny. But networks are just huge. I've gone, when I was golfing, one of the things is networking with the other golfers at a club, because usually the good golfers don't want to play with the bad golfers. I'm saying it out loud. It's just not fun to play with a bad golfer because it slows the game down. I hated to play for 8 hours once I got good. When I was a bad golfer, it was torture trying to find a game. It really was. You had to play with the other bad guys or the 90-year-old guys.
Mm-hmm.
How far to hit the ball? It's there, like 10 feet. Oh, okay. Yep. But you learned a lot from these guys.
That shot was a peach.
They taught you things beyond the golf course. It's just the golf course was a place to network. It was just absolutely amazing. So that was good.
Yep. So and that's the kind of tie the capability stuff up as you grow. Get further along in your career, you come to the realization that you can't do it all, and certainly you can't know it all. So that's another reason why you need to build that network right from day one. Mm-hmm. So that way, and people who are in different disciplines and different skill sets, because that's how you're going to solve the big problems at work. Those you don't want to get a bunch of engineers in a room to solve a problem, because it will be something that a customer will never want to use. Right? It will be built by engineers for engineers, right? Believe me, I've done that. So,
luckily, you know what? The only manufacturing I've ever owned was a printing company. That was as close as I ever came to manufacturing, and the engineers usually screwed things up. The guys in Germany that built that we had a big power cutter, like it was a 36-inch blade or something. They changed the wiring at the factory in Germany where it came from, but they forgot to change the label that said they switched it. So I think it was like positive on top and whatever. So, and this is 220. I mean, this is like 4K, just giant electricity. So I remember I was up front and they were installing it. I can't do it with a mic, but boom, like lightning. And all of a sudden the smoke just boom. I'm like, what? And I go back there and there's people laying on the floor. Like, oh my God, you guys okay? Are you okay? Oh, we just can't, it's smoke. Get down. I'm like, oh my God. I thought somebody got electrocuted. And let's just say the factory was pretty embarrassed. They covered some free costs on that one. But we that was pretty crazy.
Yep.
All right. So what else do we got in here?
So now we're now to the final C, right? And if you've noticed, every C, commitment breeds courage. Courage leads to capability, and then the more capable you are, what are you? The more confident you are.
Confidence.
So capability is I did it. Confidence means I did it and I can do it again. And now you've got successes that you can leverage to challenge yourself to an even greater goal or a greater task, right?
Absolutely.
You can build you can build your confidence, and then this becomes a wheel, right? This, once you get momentum around the wheel once, it just grows and grows and grows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the downside of this is if you lose confidence, you can start slipping back the other way, right? You lose confidence, you lose capability, you lose courage, you lose commitment, and it just spiral. It's a death spiral, right?
Yeah.
So commitment is critical because that's where it all starts.
Yep.
And confidence is ultimately what you want to attain so that you can tackle bigger challenges. But don't get overconfident, okay? You don't know it all, right? Because you've been successful once doesn't mean you automatically, it's like, I won one game, where's the World Series trophy, right? That's not how life works, right?
Yeah, I'm going to throw in this little warning here. Where is it? This is I suffered from this at one time too.
Confidence can lead to complacency.
Yeah, complacency in golf. If you become complacent, man, I got I went to Dave Pell's short game school. I know how to get out of bunkers every single time. You know what? For 1 year, I actually was good enough where I didn't get into one sand bunker the entire year. Guess what? The next year, how do you get out of a sand bunker? Because I stopped practicing because I didn't need to practice because I got complacent. I was confident I wasn't going to get in them. Every single shot. How is it? Did they add more bunkers to our course? It was crazy. So I learned it the hard way. And I will say it cost me some money. We'd like to say I was semi-pro. Pay for groceries. I'm not going to go any further on that one. Let's just say the Wednesday Friday game made or break your month. So
right.
All right. Speaking of
so that's the whole thing, right? If you get complacent, then you stop growing.
Yeah.
And that is not the mindset you want to be successful, right? Yeah. The successful mindset, right? The title of this whole thing is the mindset you need to have is, all right, how can I continue growing? What's the next challenge? How can I gain more commitment? How can I gain more courage? How can I gain more capability? How can I gain more confidence? Keep building upon success after success after success, which is why we also talk about quick wins.
Yeah, and quick wins are basically reaching your short-term goals, whatever they may be. Hey, real quick. So Troy and I, when we were trying to remember Dan Sullivan's things, we came up with 4 C's. We had confidence, clarity, commitment, and competence. And we actually went probably a day or two before we realized we got it wrong. But we actually came up with some really, really good things. Part of confidence is, so when I was doing Taekwondo, the confidence was you're going to get kicked and you're going to get punched. And you know how to kick and you know how to punch and you know how to dodge, weave, and all that fun stuff that some people just don't have the courage to do. When I competed, I had the clarity in my mind that the gold medal was mine already. I just had to show up and prove through my confidence that it was mine, which means I made a commitment to practice. And one of the reasons I retired from Taekwondo, my body couldn't handle the practice anymore. I would still love to compete, but the practice kills me. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's funny because you have your baseball there, right? Because the Savannah Bananas are like this.
They're great.
They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, right? They do all these funny skills and everything like that, but they generally have someone who is a former major leaguer that joins them. They can still play the game as long as they only have to play one game, right?
Yeah.
It's the reason professional athletes retire is because they can't handle the daily practice anymore. They hurt themselves in practice.
Yeah, you spend too much time in the ice tank and can't get out on the field, so it's there. Yeah, and the capability is one thing. I mean, I'm still capable of kicking, just not to my head height anymore. Let's just say I haven't tried in what year is it? 2023. It's been 7 or 8 years since I've tried that. So yeah, would I? No. Why? Because I know I can't do it because it's going to hurt me. So again, it's a little bit of pragmatic reality. I am a pragmatic optimist, and I preach this through all my videos. Optimism is great, but you got to take a hardcore dose of life with you. I mean, Troy, you were in government. I mean, was there ever a time that you had to deal with that?
Yeah.
Don't name names.
moving at the speed of government is a thing, right? So a lot of slow and steady progress towards any goal that you're trying to achieve. I did a lot of software development projects, and they always wanted, like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan for your software. It's like the life cycle for the software is probably 2 years before some new advancement in technology is going to completely replace it. So why are you making me do a 5-year budget, a 5-year plan for this thing? Right.
To hoard more money.
You had to do it in order to get funding for your project. But, it's like, and you always had to say, yes, of course we're, Project X is the thing that's delivering this capability. It's like, no, it's actually Project Z version 5, right? So anyway.
I'm glad I never got exposed. I always wanted to have the IBM job. I wanted to wear the blue suit, the white shirt, the red tie, the super cool shoes, the really expensive leather briefcase, and all the gold bling and the little hanky in the pocket, man. And I kind of got close. It was kind of cool. I just wasn't IBM. It was in radio sales, so it was pretty good though. It felt like it though. But everybody always tried to outdo each other. That's a nice
one government office I worked for. Casual Friday meant you got to wear a suit that wasn't blue. But,
yeah, and I also made this. I joke respectfully. Highly respectfully joke for the martial artists out there. I wore pajamas and a belt and worked barefoot for 10 years. So that was the ultimate job. And people would always ask me. My students would ask me, "Why do you wear a suit and tie?" Now I actually stopped with COVID. I stopped wearing a suit and tie. I just wear a mock turtle now. But I said, this is my work uniform. This is my suit of armor. When I put on my tie, when I put on my jacket, my attitude, everything changes in my head. It's not something that I consciously do. Oh, I'm putting on my suit of armor. But it's the practical application of doing this that gets me in the framework of where I'm at.
That's right. It's part of the winning mindset too. Is like, how do you?
That's why success is the goal. See?
Yeah. Success is the goal. And This polo shirt is kind of what all of the technical leaders where I worked wore. This was the technical director uniform, polo shirt and khakis.
Man, I almost wore my blue polo today, and I was like, "Where are your white shirt?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
So if we don't have any questions in the chat, I have a question that might be on the minds of our current and future listeners who might be watching this on replay.
What's up?
So if you don't know where to start, where to make that commitment, where do you start?
Where do you start?
Where do you start? So there's this concept, this Japanese term called ikigai, if anybody's heard of it. Ikigai. So it's Japanese for life value or life worth. And it basically breaks down to 4 pillars. If you're trying to figure out what to commit to and what should be your life pursuit, is it something that you're good at, right? If you're good at playing golf, or if you're good at taekwondo, or if you're good at sitting through budget meetings, no. Are you good at it? Can you get money for it? Right? Will someone pay you for that skill or for that capability? Does the world need it? Is it something that's in high demand? Is there a market for your skills? And is it something that you're passionate about or something that you love? If you find something that can tick all 4 of those boxes, that's a really good place to start thinking about where you want to commit and how you want to build your goals.
That's awesome. Yeah, because we use SMART goals quite a bit, which is specific, manageable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. But if we apply this into that, that's a whole unique new part of that equation.
Right. The ikigai could be your long-term goal, right? What is that victory horizon? What is that massively transformative purpose that you want to establish for yourself in your life? And then you back that down, reverse engineer that down to, what do I need to do in the next 5 years, the next 3 years, the next year, the next quarter, the next month, the next week, today?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you need to do today that's moving you closer to that life goal, that mountaintop that you're trying to climb? Right. So that's where SMART goals and ikigai come together to create a path to success.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
But the mindset, you need to have the mindset at every step, because the first step you take, something is going to get in your way, and you have to have a plan for how you're going to deal with that. What's your mindset, right? Are you going to react, or are you going to respond to that obstacle?
Right. Now you're going to have the confidence, clarity, commitment, and competence to do it, like I put on the screen
Right.
here. So
Right.
that's a pretty big thing. And it's all about the quick wins. Troy and I were talking about quick wins. Now, quick wins, again, short-term goals. My short-term goal is to get through the day successfully, but that's not a SMART goal. That's an
That's not smart.
idea. So a specific short-term goal is I am going to exercise for at least 45 minutes today, getting my heart rate to a certain level and doing this, this, and that. So it's more specific. And I'm going to do that before 2 p.m. That's even more
Right.
specific. So
Right.
we'll get into all that stuff later in another show
Or
because that's
or
all over the place.
like my book that I'm writing, right? It's, the moment I wake up, first 45 minutes of the day, I am going to write. It doesn't have to be precise, perfect prose. And I am going to exercise the habit of writing every morning for 45 minutes. I'll edit it on the weekend, right? But I'm going to develop the habit to write first thing every day for 45 minutes. And I'm going to do it until my book is done. And oh, by the way, I've set a goal for when my book is going to be done. My book will be published on Amazon by Veterans Day,
Nice.
November 11th.
What year?
This year.
Just checking.
Yeah, that's right. Because we did that a lot in the government, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, it'll be done by October. What year?
Yeah, what decade? Yeah, yeah. Because I've got a book or two coming out too. I was supposed to have the one out by December of last year, but it didn't happen. Always get sidetracked, and I was going to try to make it a big one. I'm going to do smaller books, so I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. I've actually, with my Wheel of Success, and you can see more about that on my YouTube channel. I'll have that link in the description. Each one of the sectors of my wheel will have its own individual short book.
Right there.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you got. Oh, that was easier than me trying to go. It's over there.
It's there.
But yeah, it's over here on that screen, but you can't see that one. But that's all over the website. Hey, real quick, anybody got any questions?
I don't see any.
Well, if you do, put them in the comments and we will get back to them. If you're watching on a replay, we're live on StreamYard right now. And if you are watching the replay, we're on Facebook. It's always best to come on over to YouTube, over to my channel and do that. Now, Troy does not have a YouTube channel yet.
Not yet.
We're going to put that in his long-term goal box because it's a
book first, YouTube channel afterward.
Yeah, unless he gets distracted, but we'll see about that. But I do have his Facebook.
You challenging my commitment?
I could be, yeah.
You could be.
see if you have the courage to plow through it.
That's right.
So, and you got to have fun with this stuff too. That's the other thing, is if people get too locked up in their head about this, oh my God, am I really committed? Am I not? How do I know if I am? What are the signs and symptoms? Ask somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put it on paper. Back in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have digital stuff. We had to print it out and Xerox copy it and hang it on the wall on the bulletin board. And you'd go around to different people's cubicles. Hey, can I have a copy of that? Sure, I'll have one in your mailbox later. So that's how we did it. Now you just click it, done.
Yep.
So it's pretty quick. But talk to people, network, get out there and do this. And remember, quick wins do not have to be big wins. They can be small steps towards those big wins, just like in a long season of basketball or baseball. But you got to win enough to make your playoffs and whatever it is that you're doing before you can earn the right to be in the championship or the World Series or get that next job. And we will definitely be talking about that in the future too. So one other thing, to develop your winning mindset for your current situation in the next phase of life upcoming, consider what we talked about. Go back through the video if you're watching on a replay, obviously, because we're almost done. Make sure that you watch the video on your screen right now, because that's the one that YouTube thinks you're going to get the most value out of next. Thank you for sitting around. If not, standing, lying, however you're doing it. We'll see you online soon. Have a winning mindset until we talk to you again. Take care.